Really could have came back and stole the truck. So right now they are retightening a bolt, but we're done though. $2,700 later, we're done. Finally got it back. We went in and switched out both my motor mounts and my bushings, my bolts, my nuts, everything's brand new on the motor mount. It feels nice and stiff now. Only test we're really gonna have to do is when we take it to the truck, not to the truck, excuse me, to the trailer, go pick up my trailer and see how it feels when I get underneath it, because you know, that's what broke it. Me having to pick up that trailer and whatever I have on top of it. You know, if I got 60,000 pounds on top of the trailer, including the trailer, that's about 85,000 pounds that I got to pick up. So that was what really broke the motor mounts in the first place. So we're going to have to go and get that. We'll basically test that and see how that is. But I've already paid for it. They did their job. My Jakes, I'm going to have to get them either readjusted again or, like I said, when I found out. Okay, so remember I told you in the last video, I spent $10,000 on the truck. So when I spent $10,000 on the truck, they switched out my cams and my rockers, and they adjusted my Jake brakes. Well, what they found out was that the guy who had that truck before me put C16 injectors inside that truck. I guess he was trying to make more power. Just bigger injectors, trying to make more power. But with that being said, they were adjusted to C15, so my Jakes weren't doing what they needed to do. So Peterbilt went and adjusted them to C16. I'm thinking now the Jakes they work a little bit better, but they don't work as good as my dad's truck. So I'm thinking I'm about to do is go get C15 injectors, swap those C16s out, put the C15 injectors in there, and see if that works better and get them to adjust to the C15 injectors. Hopefully that'll fix my Jake issue that I have. It's not a big issue. It's just I know that, for instance, if I go down the mountain, and I'm like 105,000 pounds, I really got to take my time. There's no fucking around, because I only got a 10-speed. My dad's got an 18-speed, so that's another thing that I got to look into. But I mean, other than that, man, we good. We about to pull off in a second. Right now they're tightening up this part right here, my mud flap, my mud guard. They're tightening this down because it was stripped and it was kind of loose, so they got to tighten that back down. But other than that, man, we finna take off in just a minute. Go pick up my trailers. And then we got to go run over to West Virginia. I know I said I would never go back to West Virginia, but we're going back to West Virginia to go pick up these 2 loads that's taking us to Texas. There's going to be a convoy. It's really, if we had 2 other trucks on our fleet, which I thought I had 2 other guys that we could get, but they're not in the area, we would have been able to take the whole job for them and move all this stuff down to Texas. The load that I got is paying pretty good for RGN, and the load my dad's got is paying pretty good for his step deck. So it's like I think it's a duck house or a dog house, they call it, something like that, and there's a whole bunch of pieces that go with it. So that's gonna be an interesting load next week. Hope you guys get to see that. Stick around. Hopefully I get to drop a video on that. But like I said, we're finna go ahead and take off, get everything going. I'm just glad I got my truck back, man. That's all. I'm glad I got my truck back. If you can't sit down too long in this business, you sit down too long in this business, you don't got enough money stacked up, you're screwed. And I'm not gonna lie right now, I spent a lot of money in these past couple months, so I don't have a lot of money stacked up like I did before. So I gotta go to work. I gotta go work to go get this bread back. You know what I mean? Alright, so I figured we'd go ahead and stop right here, take a little break. There was no signs that said that cars or that trucks shouldn't be here. What, Dave? What's canceled? Alright, so it's not what we were hoping for, but looks like the loads got canceled from yesterday. We were on our way to go pick up this load. We're about 30 minutes away from it now. We're actually gonna go check it out. We believe it was a double broker, and I'm gonna have to go into the story a little bit more into detail a little bit later. But you know, got the truck fixed, got everything, got the truck back. Headed up here yesterday, about 4 hours. It was about a 3-hour drive to get up here to this load in West Virginia. I already booked this load back on Monday. Today is Thursday, and yesterday we get 30 minutes away, and the broker calls me and says, "Hey, this load is canceled. I already paid for permits. I was already having my escort meet me there and everything, and it was just very frustrating, man. But I already had a hunch that this load was double brokered. So I'm going to tell you guys how to save yourself from this mistake that I made. So that way, if you guys ever hear somebody who is on the phone and you may not really know, you should know that it's a double broker. So the crane, so what happened was the customer who bought it got a company to basically broker out the load. That company then got another company to handle the whole job, which was they needed to get a crane, they needed to get trucks there. Well, they got some of the trucks, but they didn't get the crane, unfortunately. So the crane canceled, which, and I guess in this area, there's only one crane that could do the job. We are in West Virginia, so that's believable. I mean, not really. You probably could have got somebody who could travel. They were willing to travel, but they probably didn't want to pay that fee. Also, the shipper was a little concerned because he was like, you know, even if y'all get this stuff going, you're not going to be able to take these out until the guy who paid for this stuff pays for the storage fee. The storage fee was $11,000. So I was like, God damn. So next week, they're working to get the loads taken care of. I told them to keep me on the load. I'll be willing to come back up here next week to get it. But I'm glad we showed up to get a little bit more information. Not only did we get the broker information, we got the other broker information, then we also got the actual customer's information. So we can go directly to the customer instead of dealing with the broker. The way to catch these guys, man, it's like you got to pay attention to a lot of things. If they don't factor, they don't have a really good history with factoring, that could be a potential flag that, hey, look, they're double brokering. If they don't write their customer's number or information on, or even the freaking customer's name of the company on, sometimes it could be a double broker. If they don't write the receiver, if they don't write his information down, it could be a double broker. What's the other key signs that they're double broker? If they have that particular accent, they might be double broker. I hate to say it, but no, that's just the truth, man. That's what we've been dealing with out here. It seems like in the RGN game, there is a lot more brokers than usual. And I ain't gonna lie, it sucks. It most definitely sucks. Because it's like, you get a load, you think it's paying good, and the next thing, boom, double broker, you know? And when it comes to double brokering, man, sometimes you may not even get paid on time. It may take 30 days, which I know some companies run off the net 30 or net 15. That's cool. We can run off a net 15 and we can do net 30. But I prefer it to be direct than dealing with the broker, because the broker is waiting for them to get paid, and then they pay you. You know what I mean? Thank God I haven't had no major issues like that where the broker didn't want to pay us. But that double brokering stuff, man, you miss out on so much opportunity to make money. You got to think, if they're double broker on a step deck or a flatbed or reefer or dry van, they may be able to take a couple $100 away from you, right? But if they're doing with an RGN, they can steal a couple thousand from you. You feel what I'm saying? So those are all things that you got to be aware of. You got to be, pay attention to, especially when you're working off the spot market, because you don't know who you could be dealing with, man. There's a lot of scams out here, a lot of shady people out here. They're willing to do whatever they got to do to make that dollar, because they are not in the same boat as us, but they're in the same world as us, where they're trying to make a dollar. They're trying to make the most that they possibly can make. I mean, think about it. If you're a broker and you get a load and you double broker it and give it to somebody else, and that person's out there hungry, starving, they need to put something on their trailer. Instead of getting a load for $15,000, you'll give it to them for $8,000, and then you're getting what, $7,000 off of that? If it works out. That's if it works out. Some people don't know what they're doing when they come out here. So there's a lot of things like that I really want people to pay attention to, man, because being on the spot market, man, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be tough. It can be tough. And especially when you come out here, you see a load that's paying $6, $7 a mile. Hey, it looks good, it sounds good. But then when you break down all your costs, you're really only making $2 a mile. When you break down your escorts, if you got to get escorts, if you got 2 escorts, you got to get permits. If you're heavy, you got to get permits for the heavy. All that stuff factors in once you get in these loads. So I want people to really start fighting for these loads, especially with these RGs. Same thing with the step deck. If you got over-dimensional loads and you got to book these loads, you got to start quoting yourself properly. You got to, man. You got to. But we're good. I think we still scheduled that load for next week. I'm going to go ahead and just head home, man, honestly. My dad's got this load in front of him. He's had it in his truck for about 3 or 4 days, unfortunately. I remember my truck broke down and everything like that. So shipper was cool with it. They're not tripping. But we got to get that load down there. And hopefully we can start over next week and I can find something, moving around in my hometown area. and then maybe I can make something shake. But I'm not gonna take none of this cheap freight out here, man. I've been looking at these loads, man. There's so much cheap freight out here, it's ridiculous. I'm talking about 75,000 pounds paying like $3-4 a mile. It's ridiculous. You got loads weighing 50,000 pounds, they're paying $2 a mile. It's ridiculous. Like it's people think that the RGN game is a lot better because of what you think it is. Nah, it's a hit or miss. And then most of the loads out here are just as cheap as the step deck and the flatbed game. It's just as bad, bro. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I'm not trying to say nothing so that way you won't come out here. I'm telling you the truth. It's just as bad. Just as bad. Except the only thing is we probably have more payments because, I mean, look at this trailer compared to this trailer. This trailer's like worth $40,000, $50,000. This trailer's about $125,000, $150,000, depending on what year you get and how many extra options you get with it. $125,000, $150,000 versus $40,000, $50,000. That's a big difference. Same truck, different trailers. That's a big difference, you know what I mean? But Pops is working on his door, man. I guess he just wanted something to do. I don't know why he decided to do it. It's my truck. I told him let's do it when we get home. That's why I bought the piece. I bought it so I can do it when I get home. Haven't had my truck in a week, and now he's trying to do it now. I don't get it, but hey, if he can do it, he can do it. Let him do it, all right? You figured it out? Go on, man. That's something we should do when we got home, yo.
Yeah, probably. I thought it'd be quicker years ago.
All that stuff you gotta take apart. It's still in there. See, it's still right there.
All right, so the hook comes up, right?
Yeah.